So I changed hotels this morning for my last night here in Kanchanaburi, and I'm going to have a sleep, and then after I've had a sleep I'm going to head off to the Kanchanaburi War Memorial Cemetery. But just a bit of a hint, if you're planning on travelling anywhere in the world, it doesn't matter what the country is as far as I'm concerned, when you book a hotel, the first question you should ask is not how much it costs or how hard's the bed or how good's the Wi-Fi. The very first question you should always ask is, do you have a rooster? And if the hotel answers yes, they have a rooster, there's no need to ask any more questions. You just move on until you find a hotel that doesn't have a rooster. So I'm added to the Kanchanaburi War Memorial Cemetery, and the first thing you notice when you walk in is there's a lot of people here. There's apparently, so I read, about 7,000 graves here, and all of those are the slaves or the prisoners of war who built the Burma Railway. And it's believed that there's 38 people here, 38 people died for every kilometre of the track that was laid, and the track's 415 kilometres, so you know that's a pretty serious casualty rate. The cemetery is near or on the original campsite for the Burma Railway, so everyone would come here and then go out to different camps along the track and work from there. And when they died, and unfortunately half the people that worked on the railway did die, when they died out on the track, they were buried pretty much at the closest camp they were at, and they were just left there. And if they had a disease, they were burned. So that's what happened once you died on the railway. They were then collected. Once the war finished, their bodies were dug up and they were brought back to this location and buried here. And this location was donated to the soldiers by the Thai government, so they had somewhere to kind of finally be put to rest, and people could come and see their graves and pay their respects. So that's how they ended up here. But it's an amazing place. It's very, very well kept. It's very neat and tidy, and the grass and the flowers are beautiful. But it's a pretty sad place, and when you walk around you just see how many people died building the railway. So you can see over here, over in the corner, over here somewhere where my finger is, there's a big memorial cross, and then over in this corner where my finger is, there's another one. I'd like to go and take a look, but there's dogs around them all. The dogs are just sitting around in the grass and wandering around in and out, and I don't trust the dogs enough to walk over and have a look, because you know, more times than I can count if I had dogs growl at me when I've been walking around different locations. So it's a pity there's so many wild dogs just wandering around, because you can't walk up and have a close look at things. But anyway, you get the idea on what it's like here. It's definitely worth checking out if you've got an interest in all this stuff and you're in the town. It's you know, it's interesting to look at and read up a little bit about the history, but as I've said 100 times before, be careful of the dogs. Some are totally fine and some you can pat, not that I would do it, but you see people patting them, but there's signs everywhere that also say don't pat the dogs because they bite. And they're not surrounded here, but they're surrounded the monument there and the monument over here. So I'm not going to go near them and risk getting bitten. Anyway, yeah, this is it. It's I think it's kind of nice to walk around. It's nice to look at. It's pretty sad to understand why they're all here and the story behind it, but it's certainly it's not worth ignoring and you know, acting like it never happened. It's good to read up and look at this stuff and see what these men, and I'm sure there's women involved too with the nurses and stuff, what they all kind of had to go through and what they looked at when they were building the railway through this part. It's very, very interesting. Alright, see you tomorrow.